Okay. Hello again. It's like 11 something in the morning here. My toddler was up until 3:30 in the morning, poking me, pulling my nose, booping it, kicking me in the face, body slamming me. So I'm super tired because I've been up since I don't know, 6:37. I didn't sleep much. Um when when I have conversations with people and I end up having to repeat myself in these two conversations, right? So like I'm talking to somebody and they ask a question and I relay a message. I'm channeling a message, right? And then I'm talking to somebody else and I end up channeling the same message. I will get anxiety if I do not share this message. This is something I've been realizing over time with the blogs. If I get a message and I don't write it, I don't share it, I will get anxiety. Severe anxiety. When I share it, the anxiety stops. This is my soul triggering me in a way that knows I will respond, that knows I will pay attention. I will listen to my body and I'll go, oh, I'm supposed to do something, right? Cool, so let me do it. Hi there. So, what I'm hearing is a message of the day keeps the anxiety away. So today's message, as of right now, is what I did yesterday on my live. Sharing my experience. Sharing my own journey of the awakening, my spiritual death, my physical death, the resurrection. In case you guys didn't watch it, it's long. But you're going to have to watch it to understand any of the other ones coming up. When I was in the hospital and I described that I was bleeding out and I turned pale and I was shaking and I thought I was going to die, I said that, and I didn't realize this until I went back and watched it, because when I go back and I read my blogs or I go back and I watch my videos, I'm watching it as the observer. I don't remember half the things that I talk about. I watch it and I'm looking like I'm watching someone else. It's not me. It's channeled messages. But what I noticed when I went back and I watched it, when I described my shaking like an earthquake, and then I heard the voice of a friend who lives on the other side of the world, and I looked into the corner and I saw something that relayed a message to me that I will heal them. When Jesus died, the ground shook and the veil was ripped. You all have a story like that. Every single one of us has our own story that goes from our personal hell, our dark night of the soul, our deepest, darkest, most painful moments. And it's going to have cycles of resurrections, moments of enlightenment, moments of healing, moments where we shift our perception from a victim mindset to gratefulness. We don't go, oh, I was abused. We go, I survived that. Oh, I'm depressed. No, I beat depression. We become grateful. We see our strength, right? We all have our story. What you perceive as waking up, I perceive as remembering. My friend perceives it as falling back into the body, the soul falling back into the body, being reunited with your spirit. And it's scary, because you're not only facing your pain, you're coming to the realization that you are not who you think you are. You have to adjust and integrate the information coming in saying, hey, you're not alone. You have a guide with you, an angel with you, an ET with you, your higher self, who has been guiding you and telling you things and helping you your whole life to reach this point where your perception has shifted to where you can understand and see the story of Christ within anybody else's story. The cycles repeating themselves in different ways with the same purpose, the same message, over and over and over. I see it in movies. I see it in books. I see it in moments of my life. I see it in other people's moments in their lives, where we could have already reached that Christ consciousness in the past had we opened up to it and accepted free will. But we didn't. So the next round got worse. And we didn't accept again. So the next cycle got worse again. And every moment there comes a point where we have this resurrection and the veil is lifted and we realize it. And if we choose not to take the steps necessary to follow this calling, we will go back into that cycle where we will have another moment of pain, enlightening moments, realizing things, and then a big shift. And if we don't accept it, it's the same thing again. These are these cycles, karmic cycles. Things will happen and they will get worse because your soul is saying, hey, we're on a mission. And right now it's really bad for a lot of people because there's an urgency. The world is destroying itself. We are destroying the world. We have the choice to be Christ consciousness or the Antichrist. We have that choice as individuals, as a collective, to heal and to heal the world. And if we are not healing, if we are staying in our ego, in our zombie mode, we are not reaching Christ consciousness. We are not acting like Christ. We stay in zombie mode. We stay in the low vibrations. We function in a way that is intended to harm other people for our personal gain. We are the Antichrist. Okay, I have this all explained in the other live. That's why it's a longer video. Now, my point in explaining this to you is every person who is receiving their soul fragments, falling into their body, waking up, remembering, having epiphanies, on the path to enlightenment, whatever you use to refer this, like, explain this journey, you are all being prepared to receive major downloads. Major downloads. You are all being prepared to share your story, your personal journey of Christ consciousness. Okay? You are going to have that perception shift. And this is why I speak of perception so much. Because 2 months ago, I would not have been able to see a cycle of Christ within my life story, within other people's life story. I wouldn't have been able to see it 2 months ago. I wouldn't have been able to see it a week ago. But I can see on my blogs, and I can think back to things, and I can realize how my journey has been preparing me for the ability to do that. So that when I tell you guys something, I am backed up by religion, spirituality, science. I have people who can bear witness that these things that I say are true, that have happened in the past. I have people who can bear witness now when I am channeling messages to them, doing tarot stuff, and I'm on point. All of these things are mentioned in the Bible, if I remember correctly. Mind you, I didn't do a lot of Bible research, right? This stuff just comes to me. And then I'm told by my higher self, my angels, my ETs, wow, I'm dizzy. This is in the Bible, right? So every single one of you who is on a journey of healing, who is doing the shadow work, who is integrating their darkness with their light, you are going to end up with this shift in perception where you are going to recognize the cycles of Christ within your life over and over and over. You're going to be able to connect the dots in such a way that at first you're going to have migraines. Your brain is going to be so overwhelmed. The water that he talks about, guys, drink so much water. I cannot tell you how much water I've been drinking the past couple days. And my mouth, like, stays dry. I am so thirsty. We need that water. Trust me. On a physical level, we need it. Drink all of the water. But you're going to recognize these cycles. This perception shift is coming. Some of you already have it. You just haven't recognized it yet. But you will. And when this comes, when this perception shift happens, you are going to receive your message, like I received mine, with everything about the now, 2020, as it is. The purpose, the people who serve a purpose, how we save the world, the rapture, the ascension, everything I spoke of in the video yesterday, you are all going to receive a message on how to share your story to relay the same message. The reason we do it in different ways, with different words, with different stories, is because of perception. Because the way I speak is going to resonate with a certain group of people, right? Now, my friend who channels messages very specifically with divine and you know, like divine feminine energy, divine masculine energy, I call her Lady Love. Her angel, her guide is Haniel, Venus. The woman who has been guiding people to their light, who encourages people to step into their pride and acknowledge their light so that they can find God. Her higher self, her guardian angel, is Lucifer. And I'm not saying this like, oh, she's crazy seeing angels. Look at the metaphor within the story, right? We all have these stories, right? And there's astrology, Venus. And then you have religion, spirituality, Haniel, Lady Love, mythology, Cupid, right? So like what I'm saying, don't take everything literal. Perception, the ability to see something from all angles, from all sides, from the point of spirituality, religion, science, mythology. And whenever you guys receive these messages that you need to share, you will know you have to share it. You will know how you're supposed to share it. You could be sharing it through a live, you could be sharing it through poetry, through artwork. The energy is going to be in there. The energy will be in your message. It will resonate with the people it needs to resonate with. They will feel what they need to feel to be triggered to get to where they need to be, to relay their messages. Okay. Yeah, perception. Don't take everything literal. Try to find something to back it up. And you will. You will find something to back it up. They say that, you know, Jesus is coming, the rapture is coming. They say there's no time or date. Well, that's because time is fluid. And because it's not a specific time or date, it's because it's a process. Reaching Christ consciousness is a process that we all have to go through. We can't just wake up one day and go, oh, well, I'm going to be like Christ. No, there's a lot of lessons that we have to learn. There's a lot of realizations that we need to, you know, get in order to reach that state of mind, in order to be able to shift our perception and see from all sides and understand and have compassion. That's why I don't know what happened. I just lost connection there. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, there's no time and date for the rapture because it's a process. It takes time. You know, and they talk of like the lunar eclipse and the, you know, the solar eclipses and like that's astrology. There is no moon or there is no sun, whatever it says. We're about to have an eclipse again. Planets are in retrograde, closing out cycles. If you look at what the planets represent and you compare them to mythology or religion, you will find the connections. If you compare the planets to the chakras, you will find connections. If you compare the anointing of Christ to a Kundalini awakening, you will find connections. Perception. You shift your perception. You learn to look at things from all sides, from all aspects. You accept other people's perception in order to do this. If I had stuck to just religion, I would not have learned about anything else because I would have been too stuck in my ego, too afraid that my beliefs were not strong enough to learn the other things, to be able to shift my perception. If I truly believe that asking Jesus for forgiveness is the way to be saved and go to heaven, and then somebody says, yeah, but here's an idea, listen to this. If I truly believe what I believe, and I know it 100% in my soul to be exactly that truth, I will not have a problem listening to somebody else's perception. They will not trigger me because I am steadfast in my belief. But because the perception is different and people are triggered because there is a truth behind it. A trigger, if something triggers you, it's because you know deep down that there is a truth in there that you either don't want to acknowledge. Yeah, that's it. You don't want to acknowledge it. There's a truth in there that you don't know, understand, or how to get behind it. So that's why I am here to trigger people. And I'm not doing it in a way where I'm pushing my beliefs on you. By all means, believe whatever you want. Like I said, when it comes to religions and spirituality, I love them all. I've had dreams with Egyptian gods, Norse gods, angels, Hindu gods, which I actually had to look them up because I didn't know who she was. I just had an image. So when you get these messages, you will be able to share them in a way specifically to reach a certain group of people who will resonate with the way you talk, with the story, with the story that you share, with your story. They will resonate with it. And you will be able, again, you will be able to back it up. They will just have to do the research. They can do the research. They can tell you anything they want. And all you have to do is say, do the research. Because when you shift your perception and you do the research and you combine all of them, they all have a similar story. The same message, the same overall energy. You're going to be pushed by God, by the universe, by whatever you call it, to relay these messages. Because now is the time, 2020 is the time where we have to make a decision, free will, to be like Buddha, to be like Christ, to be kind and compassionate, non-judgmental, pure love, to serve others. Because when you serve others, you serve yourself. When you serve yourself with love, you're serving others. Because you see them as yourself. We have the choice to do that now. By going within and starting to heal. We have to heal our inner child. So that we can heal. So that we can learn true, unconditional, Christ-like love. God, source, love. That is the free will. That is the choice we have. To accept our soul when it goes, hello, you're not alone. We have that choice. And if we choose not to do it, we will keep having these Christ-like scenarios coming through these stories in our life where it always ends up in some sort of a death and rebirth, and the choice to go beyond the veil when it falls. Or to say, no, let's put that back up. I don't want to see all that. What's beyond the veil is your pain, your ego, your temptations, your wounded inner child. And if you don't face it and you don't heal, you are pushing that part away from you. You are pushing yourself away from you. You are pushing your soul away. You are pushing God away. Because you cannot step into the purpose that your soul came here to do for God if you don't get past yourself, your ego. Your humanity. And we are human, and that's fine. That's good. That's why we're here. We're here to enjoy the experience. We're here to remember. That's the game. That's what God wants. He's like, we're going to remember. We're going to remember. And then whenever you start to remember, at first it's very scary. And then it gets exciting. And then every time you get triggered, instead of going, oh, cool, another trigger, I'm going to learn something new. It becomes an adventure. Life becomes an adventure. You become your best friend. God becomes your best friend. Jesus becomes your best friend. Whichever, whatever God it is, whatever person or experience, it's going to be so much fun. It's so fun. And then you see people sharing their story, and you see your story within their story, and you see Christ's story within their story. And that's really cool because you're recognizing these cycles. That's that shift in perception. And when we reach that and we get the message to share, you got to share it. Hey, PJ. So be prepared to have these downloads, however you get them, whether it be through, music or dreams or drawing. However these messages come to you that pertain to love and healing and remembering or waking up, you're going to be urged to share. And if you do not share, you will have, it could be anxiety. For me, it's anxiety. I don't know your story. I don't know what your physical trigger is. Mine is anxiety. The fear of being completely helpless, of not understanding my own emotions, because I lived that life for so long, where I had no control over my emotions, where I didn't understand why I was feeling something. Story time. When I was in Missouri, I was sitting in my room on my bed, and all of a sudden, I had this sadness overcome me, like I was dying on the inside. And I wrote a poem. And in this poem, I was writing about pulling the trigger within my veins to mask the pain. Later on, I found out, not too long after this, that one of my neighbors, whom I didn't know at this time, he lived a couple of breezeways down. He's actually the guy later on, much later on. He's the dude, he's the guy who actually stabbed the father of my girls. But when I wrote this poem, when I had this weird feeling come over me and I wrote this poem about pulling the trigger within my vein to mask the pain, that man got picked up by an ambulance that same night because he overdosed on heroin in his apartment, 2 breezeways down from my apartment. And I was new there, so I didn't know him. And I mind my own business, so I didn't know that the ambulance had come and picked him up. So I had a lifetime of picking up emotions from other people and not knowing that until recently, where I was like, hold up. I feel what this person is feeling. So sometimes when we're triggered, it's not us, it's them. That's why we have to go within. Discernment. To figure it out. And the more we do that, the more we understand. Because the more we go within and we connect to soul, our purpose, we're connected to God, we get more information. The Akashic Records is God. The universe. Whatever you call it. It's channeling messages. And it's not like I can go in there and go like, oh, okay, well, I just want to know, I want to know about this person. Right? Sure, we could. But you're probably not going to get the information. Why? Because it's serving yourself. When I share something and somebody asks me a question on my blogs or like in my comments, a lot of my blogs come through me having conversations with people where they ask a question and the answer just comes to me. That's going into those Akashic records. That's you being able to channel the answers to the questions that serve the purpose, the higher purpose, when they need to be answered. That's why when I have visions or dreams and I can't remember them all, I'm not worried about it. I don't try to dig too deep because I know that whatever that dream or vision was about, I will receive that message in full detail in the exact moment I'm supposed to share it. And if I don't share it, I'm going to get real anxious. I'm going to get anxious. I'm going to feel out of control. I'm going to feel like I'm in danger. I'm going to have fight or flight mode. And well, wings up, people. It's time to fly. So I'm not fighting. No, I did that. Ended up in a pool of my own blood. I'm good. I love life. I love learning these lessons. I love to be triggered. Because then I can be like, ooh, we're going to learn something. We're going to remember something. My soul is trying to tell me something. And it's fun. It becomes fun. It's an adventure. So You have to open up to perception. You have to open up to other people's ideas, the way they see things. Because like I said, what you call waking up, I call remembering. My friend calls it collecting the soul fragments, falling back into the body. Same message. Same thing happening. But the perception is different, so we share the story differently. But when we do share it, and people really go into it from different perspectives, they will see the cycle of Christ's story. And I could probably throw other religions in there, but honestly, I can't think of any right now because, like I said, I don't do research. The things just come to me. And my thing, my message is, even though, I do involve other religions and things and gods because it's all one energy, but I'm supposed to be speaking to a specific group, the group that relates to Christianity. Which is funny because my whole life I was fighting being a Christian. And I always was like, I don't want to be a Christian. Like, it didn't feel right to me. And I'm not a Christian. Because I'm not worshiping a man. I'm trying to live like him. And there's a difference. Christianity is about worshiping this man. Spirituality is about stepping in his shoes and trying to be like he was in order to get the same answers that he got. And everything that I say can be backed up. All the cycles can be shown. And we have Google. We have the Inter-Yoda. I call it Internet Yoda. Inter-Yoda. Right? We have everything we need to back it up. And I'm absolutely certain that somewhere in the Bible it says that is exactly what will happen. When you work for God, when you step into that purpose that your soul came here to do, when you allow your soul to use your vessel to work for God. That's why when they say, I invite Jesus into my heart, that's what that really means. Opening up and allowing the soul to guide you into Christ consciousness so that we become better people who love and serve others with love so that the world can be a better place. People don't suffer if they're not in pain. We don't try to inflict pain on others if we are not in pain, if we know how to cope, if we know how to heal. That's what that healing is. Okay? My crucifixion, whatever it's called, was in the hospital in my own blood. The dropping of the veil was when I heard my friend's voice, who was in America, and I saw a spirit, something, tell me, you will heal the people. My bed shaking was the earthquake. My miracle, after the fact, after the awakening, the resurrection, after this veil dropped, my miracle was my Sekhmet dream, where my bipolar disorder was gone. My sleep paralysis was gone. My insomnia, my PTSD, my panic attacks, gone. That was the miracle. I healed. And I still have anxiety medication here because whenever this anxiety gets really, really bad, when I start to channel messages up until recently when I didn't really realize how this is all working, sometimes the anxiety gets to a point where I'm like, I have to take one of these just to kind of level myself out because I am still human. And I have children, so I can only handle so much anxiety going on. I got stuff to do, We're human. If we need the medication to help us out, that's fine. But if we go within and we start to really work on ourselves while we're on this medication, at some point your higher self is going to tell you it's time to stop the meds. And don't be dumb about it. Don't just stop taking all your meds. We're human. There will be withdrawals. They will suck. I did it all without a doctor. I weaned myself off one medication at a time. It took me 6 months altogether. And once I got off that last medication, my brain needed a hot minute to readjust. It was pretty bad. I'm not even going to lie. It was pretty bad. But I pushed through because that voice kept telling me, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I woke up one morning thinking I was having a heart attack. And this is not too long ago. Pretty sure I posted about it on my Facebook or whatever. And I went to the doctor, and they were like, no, you're fine. And I had that feeling right here in the middle of my chest, right between my boobs. It felt like my chest plate was being pried open. And I had that for a while. And at some point, I recognized that that was my heart chakra. There was a block in my heart chakra. And when my perception shifted to understanding what it really means to love someone as you love yourself, that pain went away. It was gone. I had the realization. I went to bed, and the next day it was gone. The physical symptoms that come with this awakening, with this remembering, with this coming into Christ consciousness that we are all doing, are being prepared to do, are being asked, guided to do, that we choose to do. The physical symptoms are a real thing. There will be purges. Just like the earth is going to purge. There will be internal destruction. There will be some sort of physical thing coming up. That's another form of destruction. Breaking things down to be built up. I started talking about destruction on my blog in, I don't know, January, February. I don't know. In December, I had the weird dream about Trump. He was a fairy. He came out of a hidden compartment in an elevator in my dream as a fairy with a big old head with the Trump look. And I thought it was funny. In the dream, I thought it was funny. Like, on a conscious level, I was like, oh, he looks funny. And, like, he was flying as a little fairy in this elevator. And his fairy dust was falling, and he looked over to somebody and he said, hey, pick up my fairy dust. Well, yeah, I can't make them fly without my fairy dust. And then he bombed what's-his-face. Yeah, made him fly, fairy dust. And then I started to channel the word destruction. So I wrote about destruction. We are witnessing, bearing witness to the destruction that we are causing within the world because we are in pain, because we haven't healed. We are bearing witness to the Antichrist within us, within the world, internal pain coming forth externally through the intent to harm, to feel better about our pain. It's a cycle. Every single aspect of everything going on comes back to the same cycle. My kid's crying. So, be prepared to receive these messages. Share them when they come. You will be backed up. Do the research yourself. If you're not 100% sure, but you will be, because when you're ready for this message, when you get this message, you will be ready. Your guides are not going to push it onto you until you are able to, on a physical level, on a human level, comprehend what they're saying. Because when people come and lash out at you, and you don't understand what you're saying, you're not going to be able to respond. But if you are steadfast in your belief, you won't be triggered. You'll just get more answers because you're channeling them. You're getting them right from the source. It's not easy. The physical symptoms, the epiphanies that come in, the purges, the pain you have to acknowledge, the self-forgiveness, the forgiveness of others, it is not easy. It's not. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But it's the best thing you'll ever do. It is the best thing you will ever do. See the reflection there? Doo, 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 doo. My kids stopped crying. Cool. So, I don't feel anxious anymore like I did in the beginning. I got boy problems, that's the human in me. The second live, and again, somebody calls me right at the end. That's really funny. Anyways, yeah, so anxiety is gone. I shared the message I had to share. I actually channeled more than I had expected to. But that's how that works. So again, perception. Look into it from all different angles. Find the science to back it up. Find the religion to back it up. Find the mythology to back it up. Find a movie to back it up. Watch a movie. Look for the higher self, the guardian angel, the one who guides them, pushes them, you know, in a nice way, to be better, to do better, to believe in themselves. Find the person who is on the Christ-like journey to save something or someone or find themselves. Have you watched Frozen 2? From a spiritual aspect? Where Anna reaches the dark night of the soul because Olaf is gone, her higher self. She's disconnected from her higher self. Her higher self dissipated, and she was in the cave. And she had the dark night of the soul, and she said, I gotta do the only thing I can do. Just keep moving forward. And then she stepped into the light. And then she stepped into her power, and she realized she didn't need anybody else to tell her who to be or what to be. And she became the Queen of Arendelle. It's in the movies. It is in the movies. Elsa went into the cave. Hold on. Full of memories. Okay. Where the ocean meets the sea, there's a river full of memories. Right? Water reference, first of all. These memories you could see as the Akashic record, remembering your soul, retrieving your soul fragments, whatever you know, waking up, whatever. And she sings, don't go in too deep or you may drown. And then in the movie, Elsa goes in all the way. She goes all the way into that cave. She jumps into the darkness, into the unknown, right? She jumps into the unknown to retrieve the truth of the ancestral pain that caused a curse on the land. The ancestral pain that caused a curse on the land. And when she jumped in there, seeing this truth, killed her, right? She froze. And then Olaf, the higher self, Anna's higher self, her spirit guide, dissolved, pushed away. And then Anna, she got that message that Elsa had shot up. And then Anna had her dark night of the soul in the cave, sang her song, found her light, stepped into her power. Olaf did return, because Elsa returned, because Elsa resurrected. And when she resurrected, she stepped into her power. She realized who she really was, where she was meant to be, what she was meant to do. She found her magic. Show yourself. The one you were searching for all along was you. I cry every time I hear that song. You will see the story of Christ in every movie. Disney and Pixar, hardcore. The coming home, within, without, the internal, external, micro, macro. You'll be backed by science, energy, quantum physics. It's backed up. And then there's religion and spirituality. It's just a matter of perception. It's seeing past the words and giving it all like a storyline, I guess. Like you change the storyline to fit into other stories, and you're going to recognize these cycles. And it's not all exactly the same because everybody experiences life in a different way. We all have different experiences. Somebody experiences addiction, and they reach a point within their addiction where they recognize, I have to get up or I'm going to stay all the way down. And then they have to get clean. Physical death of Christ. And then they have to resurrect. Healing. And then they have to perform miracles to prove that God is there helping them. Healing. And eventually helping other people heal. Because that's why we go through the things we go through. Because we are going to be reaching out to that crowd who can relate because they share a similar story. Perception, cycles, it all comes back together. You know, I'm not sitting here babbling about, oh, they're coming, do. No, I'm telling you, you're going to get a message. And however you get these messages, however you perceive these messages, and then you're going to share them in a way that is going to trigger the people. And when they're triggered, they will realize that's something I need to think about. There must be some sort of truth if it's bothering me. If it's going against my belief and it bothers me, then something is wrong within me and my belief. Believe what you will. Pray to whoever you want. Cast the spells with intent of love. All the energy is the same. It is the intention that gets you to heaven, to the state of Christ consciousness. It is the intention and the ability to gain perception from all angles. So I don't know. Shadow work. Watch Frozen 2. Find the Christ-like story within the movie and within your life. You don't have to watch Frozen 2. You can watch any Disney, Pixar, whatever. Like, you know. Those are pretty easy to find in those, though. So yeah, my kid's out there crying again. That's all. Thank you for watching. Physical symptoms come with channeling too. Grind yourself, drink a lot of water. Alright, thank you. I love you guys. Do shadow work. Heal. Love yourself. Love others. Go smell flowers. Talk to bees. Do stuff that, you know, reminds you of being an innocent child. Alright, bye.